Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Silent Podcast, where we're anything but silent. Today, we're going to be covering the Survivor South Africa episode 9. I can't believe we're at 9, Jason. But anyway, how are you? Let's get into it.
I'm excited to be here with you, Sasha. I'm doing really well. Today is the first day in 3 weeks. It's not 90 degrees in Denver, so I have my windows open. And I'm really hoping that Sean doesn't hold a grudge against us after this episode.
Sean, listen, I think Jason, I don't remember my winner picks ever, but I think he was on the threat list, I want to say.
I was wrong.
Yeah, but we believed in him.
I thought Sean had a lot of potential last week, and he just, I think, got too excited and was so focused on holding grudges against people, it stopped him from playing the game. Because he knows what to do. He's the player.
Yeah, I very much agree with you where I was like, oh, he could have really done something. And Amy too, because we know that Sean and Amy had the best, had the best reads on everything. So that's why I will say I was surprised because of how good their reads were. But here we are, we can wait. I would love to know, did you notice in the opening credits, it says the jury now?
Thank you, Survivor South Africa producers. We got the third opening credits of the season. They keep updating it to us, and I'm just loving it. Survivor US hasn't been showing this the last couple of years, and I love that Survivor South Africa is hearing what the fans want. They're showing it to us. And that picture of Marisha on the jury intimidated me. I don't know about you, Sasha.
I loved it. Like I said, I bet she's a fan of the game. She's pissed, rightfully so. So I get it, man. And we miss Marisha. I think again, this cast is amazing. They add so much to it that removing even one, really, you're like, oh, I wish they were back. Even the pre-jury, I can't believe. Like I said, I'm a Survivor casual. If you saw me on This Week in Survivor, I scored a whole 2 points. I suck at Survivor. But I can remember the cast. I can remember the pre-jury boots. That's wild to me.
Yeah, let's dive into this episode. Yes, so I thought it really picked up showing us a lot of scenes of what happened right after Tribal Council. Right after Marisha got voted off, we see them all saying, who voted for her? Nicole wants to know who voted, who turned on her. And we hear Sean yell first.
Exactly.
Anthony did, and that's when the grudge was going 100 miles an hour. The train was not getting stopped 1 minute into the episode.
That was so funny. I literally wrote, what is going on? Oh my God, it's only nighttime. Because I had to rewind once to be like, did I get everything? Because Chappie's is it's kind of I feel like the camera was on him where he's trying to explain, oh, I'm very, the blind sides happen. Hey, y'all, I was on the chopping block. So, I needed to do what I had to do. And then Sean was like, it was Santini. And then Santini's like, it wasn't me. It was not me. Why he's saying it to me, but it's not.
Nicole was even confronting her. Why did you do it, Santini? Why did you do it?
Yeah.
And that's when she repeated her response of, he's just saying that. He's assuming I voted that way.
Exactly.
You don't know if I did.
And then can we talk a little bit about Nicole being sad? I understand. I want to say I'll give her a little bit because the idol got wasted on her. So I think that guilt is definitely getting to her. Her and Marisha are obviously closer than her and Amy in the 3 blonde squad. So I understand Nicole. I want to give her that space. And also this is Survivor. Someone's going to get voted out. Y'all would have been fine if it was anyone from the other side. So that's where I was I understand why you're mad, but what you're saying doesn't really make all the sense.
Yeah, I understood Nicole's reaction because I feel she looked at Marisha as an older sister, someone she looked up to. And she also knows, just from what we know about the cast, Marisha is a parent. She maybe needs the prize money more to support her family. And that's what really upset Nicole because she doesn't have kids. She's not a mom.
No.
Yet, and she's thinking about the best use of Marisha's kids and their future life because I'm sure they're already calling her Aunt Nicole.
Exactly. And that's exactly how I feel about it as well, where it's just it's such a bummer, but here we are. We'll miss you, Marisha. We're so glad that she's not gone. She's in the jury. We love it. And then we get, the next morning where no, sorry. I also want to know, Sean does have a "I told you so" moment where he says, "It shows that I'm correct in the game."
And he's not taken any bloody prisoners.
No. He's ready to get all of them, but here we are. And then the next morning, Santini's rightfully so like, oh my god, Anisu gets to keep her cover, and I got screwed. She's the fault guy now, and thankfully, at least she knows about it.
And she's right in her perception that no one is supporting her. She feels like she's on the outs now.
Yeah, which is, again, this like I think we'll get into a little bit more after the reward, but like, what's going on with these like Vuna people, right? Like, do a little better to like keep your alliances together. I was very surprised that Anisu is feeling the way she's feeling. Like, that was a blindside for me. But we'll get into it a little, but this is kind of setting that up. And then Santini is telling Nicole that Anisu isn't loyal, which, do you think she's like for real?
Yeah, I think Santini is angry.
Lord.
She's feeling like she's on the outs. The alliance is no longer with her, and she is just throwing out bait to see who's going to bite on it. And I was actually curious. Nicole did not take more action and be like, let's go talk at the water well. Because Santini said, I can't talk more about it. People are listening.
Yes, and then it pans to Sean. Yeah. This is what I mean, where I think the other side was just so used to being dominant that they aren't like understanding almost how to like set up the pieces right for them. Because I will say, and maybe it's a moot point and like Santini was never going to flip, but maybe Santini would have flipped. Maybe Santini would have gotten some kind of reassurance. Like, we don't know is my point. And like, you have to try. So, and Nicole, you see later, is actually mad that she says Sean is listening, because she's like, what does it matter if Sean's listening? It's like, play the game a little, make them think they're in power. That's all. That's how you win the game, I feel.
Yeah, I agree. And I think both Santini, and we'll get to it later on, and Anisu just want to have their alliances reassure them. They just need a hug. They want to be told, we're still with you. And Tyson and Kieran are just not hearing those messages. They're not seeing that body language.
It's really sad for me. Sean is on to her at this point. So Sean is like, and then we get to the reward challenge. Basically, the reward challenge is, it's like an obstacle course, and the reward is pizza or, for Nicole, soda if she doesn't drink beer, which I will say, as someone that does not drink beer, like, I appreciate like them saying this stuff, because I always think of, what would I eat? Because I don't eat meat. I keep kosher. So what meat would I eat? Or, like, I don't drink. So what would I be having? Water?
As someone who also doesn't drink beer because I'm gluten-free, I did appreciate it. And I think if I was there winning this reward, they would have a gluten-free pizza there for me based on what they've done throughout Survivor history.
100%. Yeah, they would. And then, so I think, and then the person that sits out and picks who wins always also gets the reward, which I really liked. I think we've seen this a few times before, but Jason, I want to know, because did you write out who you think would win before? Because I did. But I don't know if you did.
I didn't write it down. I thought on first glance who would win.
First glance,
and I think Santini made the right decision.
Oh, so I wanted Orange to win. Obviously, again, we've made it very clear on this podcast where our biases lie. But I think I'd pick Green because of just the looks. I was like, I think they're a little bit calmer, and I think they could have made some things happen.
A reason I thought the Orange team was going to win because of having both Warda and Amy, who I feel are physically stronger than Anisu and Nicole, and they might be able to hold the ball up on the ropes faster. Just because Nicole is smaller in stature. She's not weak. She's just shorter than the rest of them.
Of course.
On a tribe competitions like this, that puts you at a disadvantage.
Yeah. That's interesting, because I thought the exact opposite, because I said Nicole and Anisu are good with like, these kind of like, with balancing and like kind of, just staying on and sticking through things. Kieran obviously is one immunity for like staying on, right? So I was like, there is some upper body to it, and there's a lot of like just perseverance and like not confidence, but a lot of like just attention, I guess is the right word. Like that's how I thought they would win, but just kidding. You picked correct, just like Santini did.
I was also really impressed with this challenge itself. It's something we've never
Yes.
seen before in Survivor
Yeah.
history, where they're going on balance beams. They're holding a rope. They're doing that
Yes.
crazy puzzle. They had to throw the ball down and get to the other side as a team. We've seen them do that individually in the past, but never with all four of them. And I thought that was so tough.
Yeah, and I will say it was really interesting because I thought they would. I like that they could, like once they dropped the ball, only one person needed to go back. It didn't need to be the whole team because I think it would have been impossible with the whole team. So I thought it was really, I like the dropping the little thing, the puzzle piece, I guess, that drops down and then goes into the maze. It was just a really fun thing to watch. And this I could watch a few times over and not be like, I'm bored. Like, let's just get to the winner.
I also want to note out in this challenge, I really appreciated Chappie's communication style. He was the one throwing the ball to get the tiles for his team, but he was encouraging them. He was boosting them up, giving them strategy, something that we haven't always seen for Chappie's throughout the season.
And I think maybe he has taken, that criticism like well with what happened right with the blocks challenge where and the one where Paul went home, where I think it was very important, and I think it like sat with him a little. I think, at least, let us know, Chappies. But honestly, right, like I hope it did sit with him because he's much nicer. Anila was trying, but I don't think I think Anila and Chappies are just different personality types. Where I think Chappies is very much like bringing, the people together and like charismatic, versus Anila is pretty good about like just getting the job done, which both are needed. But in this moment, I think Chappies wins out. And then did you notice that there's pizzas on the back of the target?
I absolutely loved it.
What a fun, cute moment.
Challenge team is crushing it week after week.
Big agree, because those pizza, I was like, wait, is that a pizza? And it's on the other side, so it's more. You knew it was for the audience, not for them, because it was for us to see. So I just thought it was a cute note. And then like Kieran also, I want to say, is a damn physical beast, because he just crawled, army crawled under the net so quickly. But Orange gets to Chappies first to throw the ball to throw the ball at the target. And then Chappies kind of kills it from there.
Did you notice during the challenge that our girl Santini, who was on the Sandra bench, was looking for advantages? We've been calling for this throughout the season when people sit out. Look for clues, look for advantages. And at least she did. I wish she would have found something, but at least she was looking. Big agree. And that's exactly what we need from her, I feel like, where I just need her to take a moment to pause and figure her life out, because she needs to get some damn idols. My God. As we'll see what happened right after in the reward challenge.
Idol whisperer over here. Oh my God. And then, so then we get to so Orange wins, which I did not write down who wins. Sorry, y'all. But Chappies, Warda, Tyson, Amy,
Rainier and Tyson,
and Santini go and win. So now they're all about to eat. They're all sitting down. And then, Jason, please tell us what our girl did.
So Santini says, let's start looking under coasters. And I just want to pause and say, I thought Santini was doing this as a joke to make fun of Chappies at the merge feast. And she was still rubbing his face in the mud, why were you doing this? But she was serious. And she literally had everyone looking inside the pizza boxes, looking under the slices, looking under the table, and was open to them doing it together. Santini, what are you doing?
Oh my God, that was fumbling the bag big time. And Tyson is just waiting to cut her. I think Tyson's gonna dance to the voting booth when it's time to vote Santini out. But he was like, here we go again.
The worst part of this is Rainier ends up finding the clue, and it was directly in front of where Santini was sitting.
Thank you. Oh my God, I noticed that
her hand under the table, and she would have felt it. But Chappies was also sitting across from her, so it's not just Santini taking the blame. Chappies, who has those long arms, could have easily gotten that note before anyone else saw.
But I wonder if like Santini immediately said it and Chappies didn't have the time. And we know our friend
Mhm.
Chappies is not good at being slick. That is not his forte. But either way, Tyson is pissed. He's like, here we go. She like just can't keep things to herself. She has to do this. So which is why I think it happened pretty quick.
Yeah.
Instead. And then and then Santini, I feel like, is also pissed, which I appreciated. I'm like, thank God, at least she's self-aware.
And that's what made me the
Yeah.
most happy is we
Mm-hmm.
so often in Survivor see people make these boneheaded mistakes. And very rarely do we hear them own those mistakes and be
Yes.
aware of what they did and how they can
Yep.
improve their game. And not to get too into the edit, but I love that they're showing us the depth of Santini's personality.
Yeah, because it seems like we almost immediately get a confessional saying, "What is wrong with me?" Like another one that I had and I lost. And then she calls herself the Idol Whisperer, which I loved, and I think that is so funny because she's like, "Here I go. Every time I open my mouth, apparently there's an idol," which to me is like it shows how good at the game she is because they're not dumb, right? They know two idols were just flushed, which equals idols are gonna be here ready to go. We just need to find them.
As this scene was happening, before we wrap it up, I just want to say I was
Yes.
just waiting for them to cut back to the tribe and for them to be looking for the idol as well.
Yeah.
Because two idols were played. So in my mind, two idols would be planted.
Yeah, I would be looking like mad at camp. I'd be like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Like, wait, we need to find these idols. And the show is called Immunity Island. Like, come on. There needs to be idols.
But back at the reward. So what did you think of Rainier's offer?
He tried it, man. I will say when you're at a disadvantage, right? Like it's 5-4. You've seen kind of the other team like winning immunity, at least only one, but still, at least they've won that. And then Chappie's apparently, is another threat. So I think that's his only shot. Poor guy.
I love Santini's reaction. She's like, "Can I be honest with you? There's no way we were going to send you to Immunity Island."
He's like, absolutely.
For all of our games.
The hell not. Like, this is what I mean when I say I think I love this show because it's like in American Survivor, usually we'd have gotten like, let's think about it. Let's da-da-da and not gotten the right edit, even though the survivors probably would have later told us in some interview and been like, oh, actually we would have never sent him. Like, we're not dumb. But here, I feel like she just kind of straight up, because her big mouth, quote unquote, right? Like, she just straight up says it. And I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. You tried it, though. And then Chappies talks about how Rainier looks pretty selfish, which I don't think that that's true. But I was like, he's trying his luck, is how I see it. And then he did say, like, that site is a hot mess, like, basically, because they're just scrambling.
And then Chappies also said, presented a different offer. How maybe if one of us gets sent there, we can play the idol. Kind of being the peacekeeper. I was hoping it would be into a food fight, which we predicted a few episodes ago would happen. But it didn't happen. I thought they would get really angry at each other over this. But because
remember,
everyone.
We know the fight is coming. I thought it was going to be this episode, but it's not. And then they all come back after that, where and then Amy, again, rightfully so, says, the next person that goes to immunity gets the idol. Mm-hmm. So whichever side wins gets the advantage. Psych. And then Chappies tells Kieran, rightfully so, like exactly what he needed to do. And I'm glad it's him that does it, because his whole arc for this episode, at least, is very much, I'm just happy to be here, grateful, I owe them my life. So I think that's why he's faded for for either side as like being a threat, because now he's kind of like become like, oh, he has no power, so good for you. Like, that's exactly what you need to be doing if you're a big threat. And so Kieran, I think, pretty easily catches the plan. He's like, got it, we just need to win. And then this is what blindsided me, Jason. Talk us through Andisu and Tyson.
I equally was blindsided. We've seen throughout most of the season that Anesu and Tyson are working together. They're seen eye to eye in every conversation we have seen up until now. And Anesu says to him, I feel like we're not talking that much anymore. Are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong? Are you sure you're not mad at me? Are we okay? And Tyson's like, we're fine. We're fine.
He's not
Don't
even
worry
looking
about it.
at her.
Not making eye contact, giving terrible body language.
Oh
and
my
I thought in that
God.
moment, Anesu was flipping. If she can't trust Tyson, what is the reason? Why isn't Tyson trusting
100%.
her? And it made me think, and we haven't spoken about this since the very first episode, where we heard Kieran recognize who Anesu is from university. Did Kieran tell Tyson that he knows Anesu? Has this recently come up? And maybe that's why they're now closer with Warda, because they don't know about her history, how engaging she is on the outside. And I'm just curious to see how it plays out, because they do have these pre-existing relationships.
Yeah, you know what? I actually forgot about that, the Kieran part. So thank you for bringing that up. But I agree. Like, it's, to me, I find it very weird. Or is it that one of those, unfortunately, pretty interesting moments where when you get in power, you kind of are like, this is who I'm with, rocking with, like, forget everyone else. Like what happened to Marisha, basically. And, you know, kind of like letting everyone else go, one. And then secondly, I'm wondering if, you know, when you're playing double agent so much, your own team almost is like, nah, man, like, I don't think I can trust you. Is it another version of that as well, where it's almost like she's so far gone because they cannot talk? And Anisu says that. She's like, I can't be caught talking to my team. Like, that is what I know the issue is. And hopefully by next week, when we're, you know, up 6-4, we'll be fine. But until then, I can't talk to them, which also I think has hurt their relationship.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just surprised we didn't see a scene in this episode about Warda talking to Kieran and Tyson about how they can trust Anesu. Because we also saw that Warda and Anesu know each other. They recognized each other from their yoga lifestyles. And I just feel in the back of my mind, Warda will never turn on Anesu. And will do everything she can to get Tyson and Kieran on that side and keeping that force strong. And we just started to see the cookie crumbling today in this episode. I think they're going to break up next week or in the
That's
next
what
week.
I was going to say, because did you see Warda saying, again, I'm jumping, but like when she goes to Immunity Island, she says her core, there's a core 3, and Anissa was not part of that 3. So I don't know. It was very bizarre to me. I will say, I really want to know how this fraction happened. And it could be a little bit of everything, but it just really hurt my heart, if I'm being honest. And then we see that she wants to show her loyalty to Tyson, which shows that Tyson is now the head of Vuna, I feel like.
I agree. And that statement really cemented him at the top of their alliance.
Yeah, I agree. And he's not even like giving her like the time. Oh my God, it's so frustrating. And it's like, even if you want to vote her out, who cares? Just be nice to her.
And we know Tyson treats Santini that way a few times on and off, but we've never seen him interact with Anesu like that, with that negative energy, not giving her any warmth. And it was the first red flag I've seen about Tyson's game throughout the show.
Agreed. Very agreed. And I wonder if that's going to be his downfall. Is like, and maybe it is because he's the youngest on the cast and not really like maybe clocking everything rightfully. Game bot wise, he is, but I mean, relationship wise, like, is he too much of a game bot is my question, maybe not coming out of this. And then Sean and Amy, I feel like this is like, these two are old Zambas, like, only way out of this mess. But here, not anymore. But anyway, so Nicole, you know, talks a little bit about what happened with Santini and how, you know, Nicole feels very frustrated that Santini didn't want to talk with Sean listening. But it's like, who cares? Take what you can get. Like, you can tell Sean later. And then they clock Anisu as well. They're like, we don't think Anisu is with us. I think she did vote with us, but it's not what you think it is. And then Amy also says that we need to get Santini out. Like, you know, it's like she is causing too much, like, back and forth. And then she's trying, but then also on the other hand, they ask Amy to bring Santini in. What did you think, Jason?
I thought this was a really interesting conversation.
Yes.
And I agree with you, showed us how influential Amy is becoming in this OG Zamba group. She has the best reads. I think she has the best strategy. and she hasn't burned any bridges like some of the other of them have. I thought it was a really good strategy. You know, we'll bring Santini in and we'll tell her a different name. We'll give her a fake target.
Yeah.
And try to help stack their minority votes into the majority. I thought it was a good play. But Sean hearing the aggression, I guess, negative feelings they had towards Santini really jump-started his revenge tour and him going as hard as he could to turn the tide against Santini.
Yeah.
Thinking she would be the easiest one to vote out.
Exactly. Which is, again, such a bummer because this is like Sean has good reads until he doesn't, right? Or until his like feelings get in the way, where I feel like if he would have taken a breath, he would have understood Chappies is never going to vote her out. And the other side needs her, period. Yeah. So they're not going to vote her. So it doesn't matter what your 5 wants. They should have picked someone else, you know, like a Chappies. I don't know who else, because old Vuna is too smart to like, you know, let go of anyone, but maybe act like they're flipping on their whole team, you know, something, right?
I thought they might target Inesu because they could go to the OG Vunas and say, she's a flip-flopper. She's telling you one thing and telling us another thing. Let's all unite against her.
And she's so smart and all this stuff. I think, I very much agree with you. But they, like I said, I don't know what held them back. Like, I really want to, like, that's something I want to, like, get into if we ever get to chat with any of them, because what the heck? And then this part I thought was interesting. Sean tells Kieran what's going on about Santini. And then Kieran's like, I mean, we've been known. Like, it don't matter. Yeah.
I don't know if everything Sean said was true also.
No, I don't. I think he's just saying like I didn't even take notes on what Sean said, because I just basically wrote down like, yeah, like Sean is talking about Santini, because I don't think it matters. I think Kieran knows the truth and everyone knows who Santini is, but they need her, which is a really amazing thing for Santini currently.
And we do hear Sean say, I just need one person to flip.
Yes.
So I think he's trying to plant as many seeds as he can to cast doubt onto her, hoping that something can happen at Tribal Council to shift that vote.
Exactly. And then he tells Tyson the same thing. And again, I think Kieran and Tyson agree with him, which is what's crazy. But it's, again, the necessary evil. It's like, you got to keep Santini because she's voting with us. What are we going to not keep her with us for what? For what reason? And then, you know, Amy says like they will, you know, they're gonna tell Santini, hey, she's at the bottom, let's like try to figure something out. And then Santini actually knows that. Santini's like, I know I'm vulnerable. I made a deal with the devil. Which again, she knows what she's doing, Jason. Yeah,
I was really impressed with Amy in this interaction. Amy talking about she was pissed you didn't work with us, but it's because you don't trust us and you trust them, the people who don't even want to work with you. And this was, to me, I don't know what type of law she practices, but I was picturing Amy in the courtroom closing argument to a jury, just laying out the reasons to flip Santini. But Santini was opening up as well and saying, you know, I'm like you said, I'm forced in this deal with the devil, and I had to lie and deceit in this game. That was not my plan.
Yeah, but it is what it is, and that's the game I'm in.
Yeah.
Which, again, I feel like they are so aware of themselves. Like, it's not like, because I could see Santini having like this edit, everyone needs me, everyone's coming to me, but she's not. She's very smart. She's like, no, I know that I'm at the bottom, but the problem is she's at the bottom on both sides. At least one side isn't trying to vote her out. Mm-hmm. Period, you know? So like that, to me, it totally makes sense. I think now she should try to do something with the 4, unfortunately. And I think Anisu, she needs to figure out her and Anisu and Chappies, I think, need to be the 3, but who will they?
I agree with you completely. And something that stood out to me that Santini said is she needs to keep a low profile now. And I love that she recognizes this.
Yes.
But I cannot wait to see her try to keep a low profile. Because I know in my life, I think you probably can relate to this. In situations when I've had to keep a low profile, it's the hardest thing ever.
Yeah, it's very much the opposite, where if I try to keep a low profile, people will know the energy is missing. Exactly. And then they'll be like, what's going on? What happened? And then you're like, oh, damn it. I tried. I can't.
And they could say the same thing to Santini. Why are you acting differently?
And then that might be a reason. Listen, people just need a reason, right? Kian got voted out
Especially
because
now.
of damn rice. So the point is, like, they need just one reason to vote you out. And, like, you don't ever want to come off as shady. You just want to, I think she should be in the background, but she should be around in every conversation. But just don't, like I said, if they wanted Anella out, I think she should have let it happen, and talked a little bit, you know, about like, here's why I trust you guys. So if you want that, like, it's fine.
Even though we'll get to it later, I love the reason she has for not voting out Anella.
Exactly. I died. Oh my God. I do think Sean is weirdly, I think Sean is the correct person to vote for. Anella's like reads are not good. At least compared to Sean, I mean. So anyway, so Santini now has a game plan, we feel like, and we know where everyone else stands. And now we're at the immunity. I was trying to play along, but oh my God, it was so hard. It's a memory comp.
Where Nico, the host, pulls different colored tiles and goes through about 10 each round, and then they have to match it. I would really struggle at this.
Oh my God. I don't think, do you, like, I don't have ADHD or ADD, but like, there's no way.
But when you're sleeping outside, you're not drinking enough water, you're not eating enough food, it's hard to remember stuff.
Exactly. Oh my God. Kieran, what are you like on? Like, please give us the Kieran and Anisu, I should say. I don't want to discount Anisu. Just tell us, because wow. And then so the person that is the last person to get the sequence right is basically the winner. So I actually tried to play along, and I only got 4 right the first time, and then I like forgot everything. But Chappies and Rainier get out in round 1, and then everyone else pretty much stays, and until the last one where Nicole got it wrong. So by the end of round 1, Chappies, Rainier, and Nicole are out. And then round 2, I think actually people drop pretty quick. Warda, Santini, Sean, and Amy are out. And I was like, Vuna's winning again. Thank God.
Vuna is bringing it in these individual
challenges. And it's not just one person. Like, I want to say this, like, as a team, they're doing pretty well. And funny enough, they thought Chappies would be the, Chappies would be this like killer in these challenges. Chappies wants to win 7 out of 9. So now he has to win out from here. So, but he's like almost out first. And same for Rainier, right? Like the physical guy, rather, him and Sean, I would say. So very interesting. And then Anella is the only person left. Team on his back. Last time it was Nicole. This time it's Anella. And then third round, they go for a little bit. And then Anella and Tyson get out. And then it's back. It's like deja vu from round 1, where Kieran and Anisu are back. Like, what'd you think about all this, Jason?
I could not believe that not only Kieran and Anisu were the last 2, but that Tyson was right in there. And back-to-back challenges, those 3 are the last 3. I love that Anisu and Kieran, 2 people who were probably often physically underestimated.
Yes.
People not thinking they're going to be the last 2 in any challenge have just annihilated the competition.
And it's really not close. Yeah.
Not close.
Which again, I loved it. Kieran was like hand in his pockets, like power stance. Like Kieran was winning. Just like the vibes I think he was putting out into the world. Like it was his challenge. And then Anisu, so the last tile goes in, and then Anisu was like, I'm really not sure. And then and she's smiling, the smile where it's like, I lost, but it's okay. Thank God it's Kieran that wins. And Kieran wins, which, Jason, is this good for him? Shouldn't he have dropped it and let Anisu win? What do you think?
You're 100% right. This was not the best move for him to win 2 challenges in a row.
Yeah.
And Anisu's in his alliance. So she would have done the same plan, probably.
100% she would have, because she wants to show that she's loyal. Exactly. Or give it to Tyson, right? When you're like, oh, it's only 3 of us left, let me just give it to whatever, let them fight it out.
And I think the pressure just took over, and he was in his adrenaline. He was so excited. They're doing better than everyone else, and knowing there's an idol at Immunity Island. And this
Yes.
is a pivotal vote that I felt he wanted to win. And when he realized he was the best at this, it's like, well, then why lose? I know I can beat everyone
Yeah.
else. But I'm
Which
just
I
afraid
understand, but
it's going to make him a target next week. If he doesn't win that challenge, that is the easiest reason to vote him out.
yeah. I agree. Which is why I made that note. I was like, this is a little bit stressful for him. I don't think, like I said, I don't think he needed to win. I will say I think it's because him, Warda, and Tyson are so close that it was like we don't trust Anisu is number 4 on our list, so I can't have the 4th person winning. Number what, like the top 3 need to win, which is why he could have thrown it to Tyson. I don't know, something. And then, but it's okay. Anisu, I feel like Anisu again was trying to be his friend and was like, I'll get you on the next one. Like, we'll see what happens. I can't believe it's, back to us again, all this stuff, which I thought was really sweet. But he wasn't even like responding.
It was really awkward because she was making jokes, having fun. And he's just like, yep. I missed the necklace. I'm ready for the second date.
Exactly. Which I was like, so when he said this about the second date, I was like, is he talking about Anisu or the necklace? Because I wish he would have talked about Anisu.
I understand maybe he was trying to downplay their alliance. She is undercover, but come on. Like, you can still make a joke back to her, make her feel welcome, that she's a part of your group without like blowing the alliance in front of everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, Kieran's a beast. Like, obviously, like this is, I want to say like, an Indian man like winning all this is amazing. So like period. And like I want to say I also want him to get far. So it's very stressful. And then he picks Warda, which again I was like, are you, it's like, this is ridiculous. Like he should have picked Anisu. I'm sorry. And then he says he hopes Warda comes back while we're gonna cook the chicken. But like, what do you think? Is Warda correct? The correct option, I mean.
I think yes, because like we said, they feel their core 3 has to do this. Warda did know about the idol there, but it just like showed everyone else on the beach that we trust the 3 of us more than anyone else.
Yeah, which I think is messy. I don't think you should be so in front with your alliance. I think you have to take some calculated risks, and Anisu is a calculated risk. Or hell, give it Santini. Like, my God. Or maybe not Sandy. Chappies.
I was going to say
Chappies.
Do something to like build loyalty with other people.
Yeah, it's very weird because I think Chappies is loyal to them. Like, I don't think Chappies doesn't have a leg to stand on anywhere else. So why not give it to him? And then if he screws you, vote his ass out. Like, who cares? But I don't know. I just feel like you have any moment you get to like build your army, you need to take it instead of just strengthening the top half, because then you're going to topple over.
Exactly. And it was a better decision sending Warda than if he would have sent Tyson again.
Oh,
so
my
I will
God.
At least say that.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. At first, I got scared that he's gonna send Tyson again. But I was like, okay, at least we didn't get Tyson again. And then yes, then we get back to camp. I want to talk through this before we get to Warda. Anissa doesn't know about the idol, Jason. What the hell?
Amy is bringing it. Amy made every right decision.
Yes, 100%. Which I didn't even, again, I assumed she knew about it. And I think Amy said it in a way that like, oh, I think like, I think, again, very smart. That's how, if you want to get someone to be pissed off at their alliance, like you be like, I think you know about it, but I'll bring it up. Just in case they didn't know.
I think this is the reason that Kieran did not send her to Immunity Island.
Oh, yeah,
they hadn't disclosed that yet. And it just showed the fractures in their alliance crystal clear to Anesu.
Yep. And again, she is smart. She's not a dodo. Like, she's not just gonna take, laying down and take it. So she says, wow, I'm gonna be honest with you, Amy, that I didn't know about this. And not only did she not know about it, but she shares with Amy how close her and Tyson were. And now he's giving her the cold shoulder. To me, this is huge in relationship building.
And this shows the power of Anesu to build relationships with anyone at any point in the game. It also shows the strength of Amy's game.
Yes.
She has built this bond with Anesu where they trust each other, they're sharing information, and they're bonding over it. And it's making, I think, pulling Anesu onto their side.
Yeah. I very much agree. That's why I'm not mad if Anisu were to flip, with just because she has tried everything she can with this group, and it's just not happening yet.
And we hear her talk about her strategy. It's too early for me to flip now.
Yes,
they will think
which
it's
is
suspicious.
huge.
And let's wait a few votes. And I think it's going to be Anesu, Amy, Anella, Chappies, and Santony. I think their 5, when it gets to 9 people, are going to form together and take out that trio.
That's what I hope happens. I will say, because Anesu does say, like, hey, I want to play with Amy and Anella and Rainier. Like, that's, who I do want to play with. But yeah. She also said, which we didn't hear, we heard it when Amy was relaying it back to the team, that, hey, Sean is the target. I want you to know that, which I think is good, again, on Anesu's part, like sharing, giving enough info where, like we talked about this last time, where it's not going to hurt your team, but enough to build, again, a bridge, a relationship. And then Amy goes back to the squad. She said, hey, she's not voting with us today. We just need to be okay with it. Which is amazing. Have you heard this on Survivor before?
No.
Right? It's amazing. What? For Amy to have that much forethought to say, but it's okay. Because.
And then she gives the reason.
Yep.
Of that, if we wait, Anesu will bring Santony, who will bring Chappies. And Santony does whatever she needs to survive.
Yep. Oh, Sandra. Yes. So I very much agree. And she said she doesn't want Kieran and Tyson getting too close. So she will flip on them, because she knows that if they get to the end, they're winning, which I think so too. I think Marisha's vote itself, if they just keep going on this power, they can win, because that vote was enough to flip everything, and then just and then they coasted all the way. They deserve to win. I want to make that clear also.
And we've heard often Anella get spoken about with his ego and how it's blinding him. I think it's Tyson and Kieran's ego now that is blinding them.
Yep. And I think Warda too. Again, because something she says at Tribal, which we'll talk about, but I like I said, I'm very surprised at how they're doing, because they know how it feels to be at the bottom. So you always need to play in your mind like you're on the bottom, even if you're not, which doesn't mean be scrambly bambly, but I just mean just be smart and make sure you're building your army at all times. I was
just going to say, I'm building an army for you, not for other people.
Because right now, you're just pushing them over to the other side, my friend.
Yeah, because Warda's number 3.
Yep.
So.
And another thing I will say, did you notice that Amy also tells Anella, hey, you need to make up with Santony, and your ego needs to go to the side, because we will need her, so we need to start it now.
I was about to say that, and I think it's showing Amy's emergence in this OG Zombie group. Marisha, the leader, is gone, and Amy is filling that void. She is giving out 100%. Orders and instructions, and it's spot on.
Yeah, I very much agree with you, which is why, again, it was beautiful to watch. It's like seeing a poet, in motion, or an artist, because she just knows exactly what to say, and her tone is good. She's not, yelling at them, or she's not I'm, like Sean with the vengeance, right? Where folks are a little bit going to discount him because they know he's mad and whatever. So, I appreciate that as well from Amy. And then,
also, before we move on, I just want to say in this conversation, I was surprised that Rainier wasn't contributing as much. And I think he really saw them losing out on the last vote. He has taken a back seat, and he's letting other people move forward to put the target on them. Because I kept thinking to myself, what does Rainier think?
Oh, he don't think. Yeah, right. And we're not even getting confessionals from him either to really know that he is sitting in the back. I think he's smart enough, and that's why he is sitting in the back, but we don't know that for sure. And then let's quickly go to Immunity Island, where now we get Warda tells us that, hey, It's actually within our alliance, there is a core, and the core is Kieran, Tyson, and me, which and we trust each other the most, which is bizarro on account that Wara has been on a different tribe, during the tribe swaps, and Anisu has been with these two the whole time. But sure. And then the alliance, is relying on her to keep her vote, even though it's tempting, la la la. And I will say, I think they don't trust Santony, and that they think Santony will play, which I think Santony is 100% that person that'll, like, if you say we believe in you, like, she'll do the right thing, obviously.
I did notice when Warda was at Immunity Island, when she walked up, it was the same puzzle she would have to complete as last week. And that is a hard puzzle.
Exactly. And so does she get the idol after playing? Then why is there a clue at the merge, or at the reward?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm thinking once she stays and plays and completes it, she gets the next clue or a map with like a star of where the idol is hidden. But
that makes sense.
I just think it's bizarre that in order to get the idol, you have to stay and play. I don't really like that.
No, I don't like that either. I think that's not a great twist, because at the end of the day, like, they found the clue, right? Like, it's not like they got to Immunity Island and then found a clue. Which, if it was like what happened to Anella, right, where he happened to look back and found the clue or whatever, that's a whole different story. Like, they knew ahead of time there's an idol, so what's the issue? Like, it's weird. I don't think it should be there in the first place. But it adds some fun to it, of it being there, but it needs to be like just ready for you to take then.
Yeah. I'm team idol. I wish they had an idol hidden at the camp, because I like seeing that. I like seeing the hunt, the chase, and it getting played at tribal. And we're just not seeing any idols right now, which some people hate idols. I hear you, but like, I just want to see one, not four.
Yeah. And I want, like I said, I am not an underdog fan. I want my faves to win it all. So that means Santony needs to get the idol. Great. Santony's getting the idol. Or Nesu. Like, that's who I want to get the idol, because she deserves it the most. Ugh. So I'm so irked by like what's going on and why they're doing this. But anyway, so turns out she's gonna get the idol after, or whoever plays, then they'll get the idol, which is gonna be interesting, because if old Zamba wins immunity, they're getting the idol, because they are gonna play. They have nothing else to lose. It's happening.
And we heard Rainier explain that a little bit. Once Warda gets back from camp, he says, "I'm so happy my idol is still there."
Oh my God. He's like, I found the clue, which meant I get the clue. And we didn't say this, but they did, Rainier did share with the class when he did get the paper of the clue, I guess. I don't trust that it's a clue. Now I'm like, what the heck is it?
Yeah, and we see them, starting to make the chicken. We saw them chasing the rooster earlier. Not very exciting, but giving us camp life, which I love seeing.
Exactly. And then we get another power play wanting to happen. Kieran says, I actually think we should get Anella out, because he is the center of power. Everyone's kind of connected to him. And like, it might be good for us if we get him out, because he's kind of the builder. What do you think this is true before we get into it?
I can hear where Kieran is coming from. We see Amy having a really good relationship with Anella. We know that Anella and the guys are tight with Sean and Rainier. So I can see where Kieran's coming from. But I think Rainier is the glue. He's the center point.
I think Amy is. Yeah. Oh. Because I think Amy is, because for everything we just talked about, where she is the one clocking everything, and Sean, this is the exact difference between her and Sean. She's letting Sean be the loudmouth, and loud people always get in trouble. I know this, me, versus the people that are quiet and move a little stealthily. They always make it farther, and they always get benefits. So that's why it's actually Amy.
That Sean is too volatile.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the reason to keep him in the game.
Which I think that is what Kieran, I think that's why he wants to keep. It's like, again, the devil,
I see what you mean.
because, and Sean did come to Kieran, right? Before talking about Santini. So that's another thing for Kieran. And I'm sure Tyson and Kieran talked, that Sean spoke to the both of them. So I can see that is an army number for them when they want to flip on Santini over, right, Anella. So that's another reason why I was thinking that Kieran was wanting that, which is smart again. But I think Sean just can clock everything. Yeah. So I think over Anella, Sean is the better one to go.
I agree. And then we see Anella talking to Santini and apologizing. They're squashing their beef, saying that we'll protect each other.
Yep.
I loved when Anella talked about how he's fighting for his life in the game right now. And Santini says, not necessarily forever. Which is like opening the door for them to work together.
Exactly. And this is where I love this line. She says, I think you already know, but Sean's the target. You know, I want to share that with you. And that's what I'm going to vote for. But I'm not entirely sure what the other side. That is genius, because I was so stressed that she was about to say, hey, you know, I like, that's what the other side wants. But like, if they change, you know, and end up looking like a liar again. So I was very stressed, but this was a genius line. Future Survivor players, please use this just in case, because it's good jury management. Because I think the jury might be bitter against her if she makes it to the end.
I think she's doing little things like this conversation with Anella to prevent the jury from being too bitter for her. I thought she played this perfectly. We'd seen her kind of on the edge, being a little paranoid throughout this episode. And in this moment, she seemed so calm and level-headed and was doing everything possible to like form that bridge with Anella. And it worked.
100% it worked. And and that's exactly why I loved it, because, you know, she's saying like she said all the right things, and I think he calmed down a little as well because of it.
And when he said, or when Santini said, I'm voting for Sean, like, he's really bugging me, Anella's like, well, I think he feels the same way about
you.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which, again, is a smart play on Anella to say, like, without saying, like, hey, he wants to vote you out. He's still saying it. So we kind of were like, okay, maybe. And this is a play, right, where they want to try to get the people to think the votes are on Santini, but when they're actually going to Varda. And then, Kieran, you know, now, Santini again, Queen Santini time, because Kieran is now, they're at the well. Anesu is also there, but Kieran is saying, you know, hey, Santini's volatile, emotional, but I still need to play with her. So he's trying to get them to say, hey, let's try to get Anella out instead, which Santini like is not having. She's like, no.
She says that Anella is too absent-minded and that they have to keep him in the game because of that.
Yes.
She's just telling it how it is.
I think it's true. Like I said, last week, Sean and Amy clocked everything and tried to get Anella to, you know, do the right thing. And Anella didn't. Anella was so strong in his beliefs that it didn't matter.
And in this conversation at the water well, was I the only one who swears I saw Chappie's eyes
in the spy shack?
In the spy shack? I think he was there. And I just wish we could have heard a confessional of like him through the leaves to be like, they think they're so smart. Like,
I wonder. Sort of exactly. If it was there, dude, I think we would have gotten something. But maybe I'm wrong.
I thought I saw him stick out his tongue. I'm not sure. Something was there.
No idea. I could not tell you.
Let us know, Chappies.
Hey, please. And then, so, you know, Kieran is sure playing the smart game, saying, hey, we have to let Santini think it's her idea, blah, 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 because she's the most insecure person, which I don't appreciate. I think you have not done anything to make her feel secure. But I guess that's neither here nor there. I want to know from you, Jason, do you think that in Kieran's mind, Santini's making the decision? Do you think in Santini's mind, she's making the decision?
No.
Exactly. That's exactly what I think.
I think Kieran is overplaying his hand. He's overthinking the situation, trying to twist Santini around and do Jedi mind tricks on her. And it's making him, exposing his game to
and his like power.
His power. And this is not the time to like play that card. He could have easily waited. But we heard him plotting. against Antony, and I hope the two of them have a feud coming up.
That'll be a fun one because they're both very smart people. So yeah, he's saying, you know, I want her to be on side and I want her to like know what's going on. Think that she knows what's going on so that when it's time to cut her, it's gonna be a blind side, which is like jury management, please, why? But maybe because she's so smart. Yeah, exactly. Maybe because he probably also knows that she's pretty smart and might flip on him if she gets even a little bit of inkling on what's going on. And then Amy is now explaining to Sean, genius, that we need to vote out Varda and not Santony, and you need to get over it because Santony will remember everything, and if we vote her, we close all doors for any relationship with her. Which to me, it's so obvious, but I don't know how it's not obvious to the rest of them.
I think Amy's just seeing the game differently than the rest of them. She's not used to like being that confident player calling the shots. She's stayed very, I feel, level-headed throughout. She's not gotten too far ahead or too far behind. And she just tells it how it is because she knows the value of Santony's vote. And also and Chappie's and Sean's grudge, and that he needs to put his grudge in the corner so they can advance farther in the game. Because it's worth 3 votes. Because if they voted Santony, they would lose her, Anesu, and Chappie's.
Yep. So I just think, again, she's correct. And Sean, you know, is like, then we get a thing about Sean talking to Santony saying you broke my heart, you know, but like let's work on it. It's like, do Nicole and Sean know that they're on Survivor? And that like if it wasn't, you know, someone from old Zamba, it would have been someone from their side, and then they would have been on the chopping block. Like, so are they just supposed to be willingly lambs to slaughter to like save your feelings? I don't know. I don't appreciate these kind of like players.
I agree with you. I was impressed that Amy got both Sean and Anella to go swallow their egos and apologize. And I just hope we see a scene where Amy and Santony are talking about this. And Santony says to Amy, they apologized to me, and that Amy reveals that she is like the puppeteer.
But she has to do it smart, right? She has to be like, great, because, you know, I really care about you. So, and like they did too, but they were, I think, a little confused that you wouldn't be receptive. So I pushed it. That's how she needs to say it, because if Santony goes to jury, now that's that's another person like that's going to be like, oh, Amy's the mastermind of this. So again, very much Amy, and Amy can do it, obviously. So Amy I think that's exactly how Amy should say it. And she probably will say it even better than what I said. And then, you know, Sean is trying, but Santony says, it's too late. Sorry about it. And then Sean starts hugging her, and he said he thinks she felt bad because he saw a tear in her eye. Girl.
Poor Sean.
Sean.
He's barking up the wrong tree. When he said, you broke my heart, I was confused about what show we were watching. Is this Love Island South Africa or Survivor South Africa? Sean is just an emotional AF player, but like I feel so bad because like this ain't it, Chief. Like you can't, like this is not Survivor. Like you just can't do this. And then I don't know if you clocked it later, but when Sean gets voted out, he does say that he should have played more balls to the wall, but he thought if he would have, Santony wouldn't have voted with them. But alas, she still didn't vote with me. So what's the point? Which I, again, appreciated him noticing. Like I said, this cast is very aware of what's going on. And speaking of last thing before Tribal, Santony says, if Varda gives the immunity necklace to anyone else except Tyson, then we'll be fine. But if she gives it to Tyson, I won't say anything because, you know, I'm a big mouth. So I won't say nothing this time. But I'm going to notice it, and I want you to notice it. She's writing it down.
Yep. And keeping it in the back of her mind. And I hope she does, because it's not a joke. Like, I hope that she calls this out calmly to her squad.
And it gives me the confidence that Santony is seeing more about what's happening behind the scenes than she's always telling us. She's so perceptive, and they are underestimating that about her. They don't think she's as perceptive as she actually is.
Which is, again, it's like, my God, wake up. Like, she is so smart. Like, she's proved it time and time again. What more do y'all need for her to, like, do this? It's, I don't know. It's bizarre. I will say. Yeah. It's sad at this point. And I don't know why they're doing that, because she's, again, proved, like, she got Carla out. She got, who else out? Oh my God. Someone else out. But anyway, 2 people out. And I was just like, she did this. Like, she flip-flopping votes all over town. Like, don't underestimate our girl. And then we get to tribal. Before we get to tribal, I just want to note, Jason, did you notice that people were mixed up when they were sitting? Usually the men sit at the back, which is a pretty big advantage, especially in Survivor US. RHAP talked about this a lot, so that's why it's like it's been stuck in my head for many seasons now. But men usually sit in the back. I think it's a height thing. But I think if you sit in the back, you have an advantage, a way bigger advantage than sitting in the front, because you literally can see everything. Whereas if you're sitting in the front, your vision is very much, like, stuck. So I just wanted to note that, and I appreciated it that they're mixed it up. Chappie, Santon, everybody sitting in the front.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up. I didn't realize it was different than it had been, but I did notice Chappie's and Santony sitting next to each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Which I wonder, do you think they pick like where people get to sit?
Production 100% predetermines where they sit at each tribal council.
Got it. Yeah. So then that's very interesting that they sat them together as well. And yeah, but like I said, I just wanted to note that. I appreciate it. And I know this is not the first time they did it, but this time it was very obvious versus, I think, a US Survivor, especially, where, like, men usually sit in the back, and even when some women are taller than the men, and they get the advantage, I feel. So anyway, wanted to note that. Okay, now we get a spotlight on our friend Chappie. What'd you think, Jason? I just thought it was cute.
I was just happy we hear him talk. I forgot what his voice sounded like. He talks about just being thankful that he's still here.
Yes.
And people believe in him. They're giving him a second chance, and he's just so grateful.
I agree with you. Yep. And this is exactly, like I said, this is what Chappie's needs to be doing, because they are now not seeing you as, like, this. Because I think they've usually felt like he was a little annoying, or, that he's like a flip-flopper, black backstabber, looking for idols, don't trust nobody. So, like, I like this part, I want to say.
And correct me if my notes are wrong, but Nico asks him about the shift of power when they get back from tribal. And he said his allies felt the shift of power more than he did. Is that right?
Oh my God. What does that mean? When I saw that, I was like, huh? What? Why'd you say this? And again, at first I was like, what does that mean? So I rewinded it, and I think he's basically saying he has no power versus the other people on his team, which
I was impressed with Kieran and Tyson's ability to not react, because I feel like Sean had been in their role, he would have blown up at Chappie's for saying something like that.
He would have dragged him to hell and back, 100%.
And
he would have
just let it brush off their shoulders. They didn't even acknowledge that he said that.
Nope, not at all. Nothing. And then because I will say Kieran also notices that, hey, it's obvious that I might have put a target on my back. Winning twice is a lot. Yes, thank you, Kieran. At least he named it. I don't know why you need to name it to the whole camp, but sure.
I think Nico called him out.
Yeah.
That's why he had to respond that way, saying, you have jewelry on the front, you have a big target on your back.
Nico, like, again, production needs to, like, butt out a little bit. But like he said, he tries to distance himself from the commotion at the camp, to not put a bigger target, which I was like, girl, bye. Like, no.
At least he did say tomorrow is a new game, and I won't have the necklace. And that impressed me that he is saying that. Agreed.
And then so then this is where I really actually want to talk to you about. So Warda, this is where I was like, heavy is the head that wears the crown because you lost it. Because she says some people are sharing too much info. It's very specific channels, and some channels, the flow of info. There's one channel for flow of info. There's a trusted flow, and then there's a seed of doubts flow. So there's actually 3 flows, is what you're telling me. So Nico is like, what does that mean? Tell me more. And then she said, nope, this is very bad. And those people know who they are, who are not being truthful. Why the hell do you need to say this?
Warda is doing way too much. I just want to say. And Nico even says, that's a great game you're describing, but that's not the game you're here playing.
Exactly.
And if I was Santony in that moment, hearing Warda say this, I would have thought about flipping at
100%. I would have been like,
out.
I think I would have looked over and been like, who are you guys voting? Because obviously they don't trust me. And I would have been like, I want to be honest that I was voting with you guys. But the fact that you're just blatantly have no shame in calling me out, let's even things up a little. And do you want to vote out Varda? Great, let's do it.
And I was hoping someone was going to say Varda, who is sowing seeds of doubt.
Yeah, Sean.
Of course it's Sean, but I wanted to hear her say that.
Yeah, no, I thought it was Santony is what he was talking about. So I think Sean should have asked to be like, who are you talking about? Like, is someone from our side sharing your side sharing info to us? Is that what you're saying? So I would have dragged, because, Amy, I'm assuming knew, but she is not that player to call it out. So I just wish someone would have called it out. I really think I don't know if Santony would have flipped, but I think it would have solidified something for the next tribal.
And Sean hasn't been afraid to call people out at tribal all season. So why was he?
He was very out of character, and he agreed why he was out of character, right? He said, it was because I was trying to not play balls to the wall is what he literally said. But again, I wish someone would have called this out, because this is BS and it's so wrong and such a bad move to do, because just because you're at the top of the food chain doesn't mean 2 of your people can easily flip and you're screwed. Or 3, sorry.
And Sean did start to say that when he was talking about how there's 2 different circles. There's a circle of 4 and a circle of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope they heard it. And it's marinating inside them that, like, this is clear as day. Ward is talking about the information circle and the cycle of sharing it. And she did not include Santony in her circle.
And then this is where I was very frustrated. Every time we hear this line, these people are going down, because Warda said everyone has had a chance in the alliance to have their say. This is where I feel like every time we get this line, that means it's going to hell. Because when you hear the leader say, it's everyone's equal here, everyone's making the alliance together, and then Sean says, no, that's not true. Here's what's actually true. Mm-hmm. So I think that I hope that the 3 are in trouble, because they're just so blatant at this point.
And I think for Varda, she's just gotten too comfortable.
Yeah. And because things have gone her way a lot of the times, even with the Carla vote, right? She's lucky it wasn't her, because it was very well could have been her and not Carla, because they were the duo.
And I'm really hoping she brings back that revenge tour she wanted to be on.
Yes.
When Carla got voted out, because I was loving that raw on the outs version of her. And now she's just like, I'm in charge. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm just too comfortable with the numbers.
And I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, this is my squad, and that's kind of it. Where at least Tyson and Kieran, they're not so great. Kieran is the best at it, I think, relationship building. Tyson's in the middle. I think Tyson and Warda, I feel like it depends on which person you're talking about, which person they're talking to, rather. So I will say, I think they need to do a little bit more better relationship building, because I'm very stressed for them. I want to make it clear. I want this Vuna going to top 6 and then battling it out. Like, that's what I would want. But, like, I'm stressed that they're a hot mess right now, and, like, doing it to themselves. And then, Warda, of course, gives her immunity to Tyson, almost like clockwork. And she, as if people are going to buy it. I want to repeat the favor. And I actually wrote in my notes, these 3 are getting reckless, because she should have given it to Nisu.
You're so
What
right.
do you think? Yeah.
They're being reckless. They're showing arrogance, because they feel they have the numbers, they can do whatever they want. They don't need to try as hard or be in that like semi-scramble mode where you're thinking of 3 steps ahead, and they just think they can steamroll, which I want them to steamroll. But
yeah,
I
that's
want to
what
see
I'm
them
saying.
like
We
be a
like want
cohesive
them to
alliance.
steamroll. That's why it's like, but they need each other in order to steamroll. That's what I need people to understand. Oh my God. Oh, it's so crazy. And then
yeah,
to the vote.
they go to the votes.
Yep.
It was a little suspenseful.
Yeah, I appreciated this. Like I said, production is giving. We know that it's pretty like in your face. Like here's what's happening. We're not doing a bait and switch. So I like that. At least the way they did the vote, we were like, oh my God, wait a second, is what we know is not happening. And then we were like, Warda, Sean, Warda, Sean, Warda, Sean. So we were at 5-5, and now we have 1 vote left. Did you think like maybe it's Warda?
I thought there was like a 25% chance it was going to
be. I was like, it was a small chance, but I was like, oh my God, what if this happens?
And I feel the chance for me increased up to 25% because of when she gave the necklace to Tyson.
Yep.
That's when I thought Santini at that moment might have flipped, because they showed us Santini's reaction, and they also showed us Amy's like malicious, evil smile. And I thought maybe the two of them had like a deal. Like if she gives the necklace to Tyson, will you vote with us?
Yes. Oh, so which would have been amazing. Actually, that is a really smart move, right? Like, how do you kind of use the immunity necklace to your advantage to say, like, if this, and this happens, will you do this, and this? Like, that's fascinating.
I thought there was a chance something like that was happening just because they showed us those facial reactions before.
Yeah.
But after he led the votes, it's 6-5, Sean's getting voted out, and Nico says something like, this game changes faster than the weather on the wild coast. Anything can happen.
And I was like, Nico, I don't want anything to happen. I want my faves to stop. Like, let me just eat for once. Let me eat, please.
I don't want a rainstorm that happens at Tribal Council to happen on this game, because our favorites have the numbers, like you're saying.
Thank you. And I like that. This never happens for us. So like, please just let them win. But we shall see. I appreciated Sean's goodbye. He was like, oh my God, bye. Like, miss you, friends. Like, we, had so much fun. He told everyone to enjoy, which is like, what a great moment. I appreciated his just, niceness about all of this.
And even though he had a grudge at certain points of this game, I really love what he brought to the season.
Yeah, 100%.
He almost was the first person voted out.
Yep.
He was able to build relationships, to go this far into the game, contributing, showing us him in a very positive light. He was very level-headed. He's a great communicator, and he has great reads.
Yeah, I very much agree with you. I feel like his reads were amazing. It's a bummer that like he didn't try hard enough, or like wow, Jason, this would have been so smart for them to say, if, they do something with that necklace, like, will you vote with us? Like, that would have been perfect. Something. I wish he fought more, because I think he's smarter than this episode. And like I said, he did say that in the end credits where he noted that he should have worked harder. But he didn't, because he didn't want to scare Santini, but she still didn't vote with them. So sorry. And then we get we're gonna get the double like twist where it's phases of 2, or phase of 2 is what Rainier was reading as tree mail. What do you think about this?
This terrifies me, that they're doing a twist this late in the game that could potentially put people into duos, into pairs, like we've seen on Big Brother. I feel if they do this is what I think is going to happen. Each pair will vote out another pair, and the 2 people that get voted out will then like duel to see who gets to stay in the game. And so we will really only lose one person, but they're going to pick 2 people to compete head to head.
Oh my God.
Maybe even in a fire making.
I was going to say fire making. Yeah. That could be really interesting. I'm not happy about this, because if Anesu and Santini get paired together, this could be a hot mess. How do you think they'll pair people?
That's what makes me the most curious.
Yeah.
Are they going to pull, rocks out of the bag?
Yeah.
Or they're each going to get random buffs? Is it going to be a male-female partnership? Because I'm just so curious at what's going to happen.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough. Oh, maybe there are. Because that could be really interesting. Because to me, I'm wondering if this helps not, like helps old Vuna not get like so in power. Versus like, and it does actually help Zamba, old Zamba like gain some power.
I also think it's going to put the original Zamba at a disadvantage because the Vuna group is so divided.
Yeah.
That with only 10 people left, sorry to get into the numbers.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
could stay 4 strong.
Exactly.
They could have the 3 and the vote be 4-3-3, where Tyson, Kieran, and Warda are voting for person A. They lie to Chappie, Santini, and Inesu to vote for person B, and the 4 of them take on the majority. That would be like the perfect numbers game. But because of this pair, this twist potentially, who knows what's going to happen? And I just so hope that Inesu and Santini are not teamed up together and voted out, because I might stop watching the show if that happens.
Yeah, it's going to be really frustrating. I really hope it doesn't screw up everything. Like I said, if it's like a huge power shift, and like it's like fun, and like the casualty is someone that we're okay with leaving, fine. But like if not, I'm going to be really irritated, and it did not need to happen then. So let's just say your prayers to the survivor gods, everyone, please. Yes. And then with that, Jason, I need to know your threat list.
Well, my threat list has really been changing over the last day or two. Yes. Who I think has the best chance to win the game based on what we've seen in this episode. And I want to add Amy to the list. I think she could get her way to the end and win.
Yeah.
I still think Tyson has a good chance. I still think Inesu and Santini have a good chance. And I think Kieran is rising as well.
I like that. Yeah, I think that's very much actually my list as well, where there is a thing. I don't know if Amy is going to get far. It really depends on how her numbers line up. I think she is an amazing player, needs to come back for All-Stars, winner or not. But I'm just stressed that the numbers might not line up for her. So that's why I still think I want to go for Vuna. And I do think that, Kieran, I don't know if Chappies wins the game, but I think he has a chance to make it far as well. So Kieran, Chappies, and then maybe I want to throw Santini in there. But I think that's it for now, because I'm stressed about Inesu feeling loyalty to Tyson and Kieran, and that screwing her. So that's the only variable. So this is the first time where I can make a case for everyone, and I can actually make a case for every single person to get voted out also.
No, that's which a really is good
amazing.
Point.
Yeah.
I can hear that. And I just want to say that I am keeping Santini on the list because even though we're seeing her faults, we are seeing this well-rounded human being that is there to play the game. And we are not seeing both sides of very many other contestants. We're either seeing positive content or negative content.
Yeah. I agree. And I am so excited. Again, like usually it's either that we get a fun pre-merge or a fun merge, but like we're being blessed by just amazing, overall season. Like it isn't like it ends here or ends there. Like I think it's going to be a fight to the finish. And even in top 3, whenever that happens, I bet you any one of them could be winning it, or top 2. I know. I think they said top 3. Yeah.
I'm not sure yet. I've actually been wondering also if it's going to be a final 2 or
now I'm like, I wonder. But either way, whoever it is, like I'm really excited for it because I think it's going to be an amazing end. So just
and what a great season overall to bring Survivor back. We hadn't seen a live Survivor season in over a year, and I just hope the next few seasons we see are at the same caliber of this because I'm living for this every week.
Very much that. And with that, anything else about the episode, Jason? Great. Before we wrap this up and do our plugs, I just want to say this most likely will be up on Apple Podcasts as well. If we can get everything figured out. And this will be our, I think, first downloaded episode on there. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. Tell us what you thought. Help us out. Get us some audience as well and share it with your friends. And now, Jason, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at @TheRealJO, where I'm posting about a lot of reality TV shows. Of course, Survivor, Big Brother 23, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, I also recently watched Never Have I Ever, which I recommend to all of you. And then I'm also tweeting about this wild NBA offseason from the draft Thursday night to the trades and free agency starting this weekend.
Oh, I love it. And for me, you can find me on Twitter at funsize_04. And check out my podcast on RHAP, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It's in the Rahap Ups feed. You can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. Please check it out. Please download it. It's new, so I'm still trying to get folks to listen and get, a squad going. You don't need to have any background. Just start watching. Jason can tell you he just started this season and is loving it. I did the podcast with Chappelle. So again, a fun time. Really felt like talking with friends, I feel like. So check it out. Please, and follow me on Twitter for any other updates. I'll be on post-show recaps on Tuesday, I believe, to talk about Community, the finale. So check that out as well. Just follow me on Twitter and you'll know what I'm up to. And with that, thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Thank you to all the cast of Survivor South Africa that's always giving us the love. We appreciate you. Yeah. Just thank you for giving us an amazing season. That's all we ask. But thank you so much for also sharing the podcast because we're a small podcast just having fun. And yeah, subscribe to us. Follow us on Twitch where we have a lot of content coming your way. And hopefully follow us on audio as well. And with that, anything else, Jason?
No, appreciate everyone watching and hope you have a great weekend.